We got a lot of information output in our last two coaching sessions, especially our last one. So we're gonna do a little bit of a reminder and a little bit of a recap just to make sure that everything is clear and no information got lost in the void. So what have we learned so far? We learned so far that in order to become a good player, the very first step is to choose your deck. And that is not as easy and simple as it might sound, because you have to take care of a lot of knowledge and information before you choose your deck. How do you choose your deck? Where do you start, And the first step here is to figure out what the meta is, look at perfect data that is analyzed by professionals, and look at the facts and see what is actually the best, and learn how to play what is actually confirmed to be the best. Otherwise, you will waste a lot of time by learning stuff that is kind of irrelevant, and you will always be a step behind the best. A very important note here is that you don't just look at what the meta is. Like, for example, Darkrai. You see Darkrai is the meta, and then you build a deck around Darkrai. No, this is not what you do. You actually look at the perfect deck lists, Some decks have a little bit of wiggle room, and concerning certain cards, they can be replaced with other certain cards. But for Darkrai, that is a very, very good example here, because Darkrai has a 100% perfect deck list, and there's nothing you can replace. If you would replace something, you would make a mistake. But we're gonna move on from this category right here, because I already did a very, very deep dive in our first coaching session about how to choose your deck and why every single card is important. So in case you want more information on this and you are unsure about certain things, check out the first coaching session if you haven't already watched it. After you have chosen your deck, the first thing you have to think about is, what is this deck's win condition? You have to know how the deck that you chose wins the game, wants to win the game. And the easiest and fastest way to do that is to look at your key cards. That is very easy to figure out, because decks are usually named after their key cards. So that is not something that is undoable or hard to do, but it is also not as simple as you might think, because some decks, they have multiple key cards, and now you have to figure out what those additional key cards are. For example, a deck with just one key card is Darkrai. That's about it. Darkrai is the key card in the deck Darkrai. But if you choose a deck, for example, like Palkia, that deck has multiple key cards. Manaphy, for example, is another key card in this deck, and you have to be aware of what those key cards are in your deck, and ensure that you know at least how to play these cards to absolute maximum efficiency, because that is your win condition. And the better you play your key cards, the higher your win rate will be, and the better your deck will be. Alright, so far so good, so far so simple. Now we dive into a category that is actually very, very complicated, for obvious reasons. And that category is strategy and tactic. That is a category that deserves and will get its own video in the future, of course. But right now, let me just explain to you what strategy and tactic actually means. What is a strategy? What is a tactic? What is the difference between these two words here? And then later on, follow up with a video with a huge new coaching session all about strategy and tactic. But for now, let's explain what these words mean. Starting off with strategy, to make it fast and simple. The strategy is your overall game plan. This expands on knowing your win condition or just knowing your key cards. This goes way deeper, as this is your overall game plan, and this includes how to play every single card and every single copy of each card in your deck to maximum efficiency. While your tactic is your adaptation in battle, this expands highly on simple matchup knowledge, right? You have to know your entire enemy's deck lists and predict everything that he can do and play through your odds and figure out what your odds actually are. Again, I will touch on this much more and go much more into detail in future videos, but it is extremely important, obviously. So keep in mind that strategy is your own game plan. That is something outside of battle. That is how you prepare yourself for battle, so to speak, while the tactic are your adaptations that you have to make in battle and be prepared for every single situation that you might face. And a little bit more onto that in just a second. And we have already touched upon this a little bit in our coaching session number 2. So for now, let's move on. I have put a lot of emphasis on this already in our coaching session number 1, but let me go over this briefly one more time, and that is that every single card matters. This is why you have to play the perfect deck list and not just any deck list, yada yada yada. You also have to make sure, because every card is key and matters, that you never ever waste a card. Every time you play a card, you have to first think about, what is the purpose of me playing this card? Why do I play this card right now and not later? And what do I want to accomplish by playing that card? That way you have a higher chance of ensuring yourself that you play every single card to maximum efficiency, which is always your goal. And the same goes for energy. Every single energy you ever attach is key and extremely important. Every energy that you attach has to, again, have a purpose, and you have to attach it at the right time to the right Pokemon. Every time your energy attachment is not optimal and not to the maximum efficiency, you take the risk of completely wasting a turn or making a turn not efficient, and you give up a tempo advantage and so on and so forth. Again, watch coaching session number 1 if you want this in full detail, but for now you get the point. And this video is about what we have learned so far, so I don't want to make this too long and I don't have to go into too much detail. But every card matters and every single energy matters as well. It's very, very important. Again, coaching session number 2 is the absolute perfect example to emphasize this point as much as possible. Moving on to, again, another point that we will go over into much more detail in later sessions. But already in our last coaching session we learned quite a bit about this, which is matchup knowledge. That is also something very, very complicated. There's a lot of knowledge and there are a lot of decks that are played, and you have to understand each and every one of those decks in detail and how exactly they play. But the most important thing by far here is that you are aware of the enemy win condition. Know what your enemy wants to accomplish and how he wants to accomplish his goal to enable his win condition, and then you see what you have to do to stop that and adapt to that. That's a tactic, as we have already established. So that is the most important thing you have to know about a matchup. That is not everything, no, there's much more. And another very key factor here is to be aware of just general key cards. General key cards are cards that are played in pretty much every single deck, or even if they are not played in every single deck, in your matchup, you still have to account for those cards and play around them in, let me call it solo queue. If you just log into the game and you just play a match. You have to always play around general keycards, like for example a Sabrina. There's a very high chance that Sabrina, as she is played in pretty much every single deck, there's a very high chance that your opponent plays a Sabrina, and that is a keycard. You have to play around it every single time. I did that in coaching session number 2 as well. That, although, yeah, that is a little bit different if you are a tournament player and you participate in tournaments, because in tournaments you can see the enemy deck list and then you know exactly what general keycards you have to play around. In the past, for example, that was a red card. That was a very, very important card to always play around if your opponent has that, you know. Yeah, nowadays it's Sabrina, it's Cyrus, it's Leaf and stuff like that, you know. Cards that are played in pretty much every single deck out there. You always have to account for those. And that's it. We did it. That were all the points that we already learned something about, at least to some extent. Of course, there are points here that need much more explanation, and we have to go and dive much deeper into some things here, obviously, right? We only did 2 coaching sessions for now, but yeah, this is a pretty good blueprint or checklists that you can look at and remember what you already know and what we already learned here. So yeah, you know that you have to choose your deck and how to do that, what to look out for. You know that you have to know your win condition, very detailed actually, to learn how to play this deck and learn how to be efficient. Then strategy and tactic, that goes much deeper. Once you established your win condition, you have to go not only understand your key cards and how to use them efficiently, but your entire deck, and you have to know a lot of matchup knowledge, and only then can you be a very good player, you know. Only then you can play to maximum efficiency if you use all of your cards 100% correct, and you know how to adapt to pretty much everything that is out there. You know now that you have to put a lot of emphasis onto every single card, right? I have talked about this a lot. And again, matchup knowledge, right? There are so many decks out there and you have to know how to play against them, what their win conditions are, and where you have to strike and how you have to strike to make them not be able to play to their win condition, you know. But again, much more onto all of that in future sessions. So if you are in need of any information, or you have any questions, or you're wondering about something, if you just want to talk about something, you know, then you can of course join my Discord server to always be able to talk to me there. Link to that will be in the description down below. You can also come and join my stream. I stream every single day on twitch.tv/strawhedgerpk. Link to that will also be in the description of this video. So just in case you have any questions or you just want to chat with me a little bit, you can always feel free to hit me up whenever you want, for whatever you want. Maybe you want me to coach you specifically, you know, look at your gameplay. Maybe I have a tip or 1 or 2 for you, or you just want an opinion from the outside, right, when it comes to your gameplay. So, whatever it might be, feel free. Join my Discord server, join my stream, come and talk to me. I will be there to help you, or to just chat with you, or to give my opinion on something, whatever it might be, right? So with that out of the way, I will end the video right here. So if you like Pokemon TCG Pocket content in general, please consider leaving a like on my channel, leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and bye bye.